Welcome back to another conversation with I am Charmedskull. Today we have one of Tro's fantastic editors. We have Biodegradable here. Hi.
Hello.
Now it's funny because
Hi.
you and I met in one of my random tweets. I'm like, hey, give you some interesting people to follow, and I do that because I unfollow people who I don't care to see their tweets anymore. I'm like, I need new people to look at their tweets. I need new tweets to look at. And you were like, hey, follow me. Just kidding. My tweets are shit. I'm like, you got a new follower.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because it was pretty much just a joke. But I knew you were a fan of the right opinion, and hey, I edit for him. I could be interesting.
Actually, James and I are friends. He's actually been on my channel before. Yeah.
Yes,
that was a lot of fun.
He has.
He's
I
actually the only
listened to
person
that.
who I've actually had to shut down and be like, James, you need to stop talking. I have to go do things. But it was really interesting to actually get to talk to one of Tro's editors because I've talked to a couple of them before, publicly on Twitter or privately in group chats, but it's never been oh, I'm having a one-on-one, and I think editing is really interesting. I'm terrible at it, clearly, which is why I do what I do, which is the conversations, because, well, not only are they fun, just to get to talk to people, but, you get to, I have to do less editing. This will be probably the most effort I'm putting into one, to be perfectly honest, because of the fact that I'm going to have to sync the audio myself, which will be fun. Oh, no, but it's something
It's not that hard.
And I figure if it makes everything sound better, it might make the audience happy, which means they might come back again.
Yeah, I mean, anything to help amp up the production value a little. And as long as my audio is
still better than Augie's audio on After Hours, I'm good. No, that being said, my one biggest gripe with Tro's content, and as one of his editors, you'll get to hear, you get to hear this directly, is the transition slides between the editors can sometimes be jarring when you're not expecting the music change, when you're not it's less about the direct editing changes, those are fine, but it's the transition slides can sometimes be too long and have too much of a bombastic noise to them to let you know that they're swapping. That it can be jarring at times, and it could be that there's too many multiple different editing styles coming in. But that's my own personal opinion.
Maybe. My personal rule is I try to make my intro cards no longer than 10 seconds. And I think the other guys, most of them try to as well.
I'll have to look back at the most recent one because I haven't gotten a chance to watch, because with the longer videos you have to actually sit down and find a time. That's why I never expect to get 100 more than 100 views when I first upload, is because those are the people who are going to have the time to sit down and watch them, and then after that it's whoever else of my audience sits down and watches it, or of the audience of the person who I'm recording with, which is interesting to say the least. I've gotten some hate mail, and I've gotten some people going, wow, this was fantastic, and there's never really in between. I never get to hear, oh, this one was mediocre.
Yeah, the most vocal people will be either ecstatic of the thing they're experiencing,
honestly,
or they really hate it.
Most of the time I just get the ecstatic people. It's only there was one video that I did where the person's audience just fucking hated me, and because yes, you are allowed to curse on mine. I don't really censor curse words at all, because fuck it.
Oh, goody.
There you go.
Bugger-wee, piss-poo, shit, fuck-ass tits. Okay, I'm good.
But it's just a thing of, the reason why I don't censor is, well, one, I'm too small for YouTube to care, unless I'm speaking about direct topics. And two, I don't see a point in it, especially with this kind of format. I need people to feel like they're feeling more comfortable. Exactly.
Plus, you just do this shit for fun. You don't really care.
I mean,
you're not one of those career YouTubers.
I might become one. Who knows? If these things start popping off, sure.
Maybe.
If doing the live stream with Augie pops off and he finally starts paying us, sure. I have officially now made more money on Twitch than I have on YouTube. Just playing Skyrim.
Nice.
And I've been monetized for less than a month over there. But it's interesting. I started back up on YouTube just to make friends because I've been doing YouTube off and on since 2006. Pretty much since YouTube was in its infancy before it was owned by Google. Yeah, I'm old.
Oh, yeah.
One of those things people seem to forget is the fact that I've been around. And when YouTube started, I was 19. Well, technically I was 18 when YouTube started. When I started uploading, I was 19. I remember a lot.
Yeah, I do. I didn't really start really watching YouTube until about 2010. It essentially became my television. I haven't watched an actual TV in over a decade now.
Normal TV. I mean, we'll watch stuff on Netflix together, but like that's about it. Like that's the closest thing is him watching normal TV. He does watch YouTube, but I am very particular. Like if he asks to watch a new YouTuber, I have to watch like 5 to 10 videos from that YouTuber to get a sense of them, and then I do research on them and talk to my other YouTube friends to see if they've heard any like negative shit about said person. Because I'm really panicky, and he's also not allowed to actually interact with the videos, so he can't comment. So pretty much he's like the worst viewer ever for YouTubers, but so that way even if I miss a YouTuber and like he watches one that ends up having a scandal, it'll never be with him. My kid will never be the one that's affected. Yeah. And that's what matters.
Well, at least, you're paying attention to what your kid watches rather than just handing them an iPhone and then disappearing into the other room to drink a whole bottle of wine in the middle of the day.
But I do drink. I drink, but only after he goes to bed.
Because that's how I picture those kind of dumbass, neglectful parents who would rather have the tablet or the television
totally.
be the parent while they sit in the other room and neglect the child and think about how bad they screwed up their life.
I definitely am not going to argue with that. Like, that is something that actually happens. And it's something that happens, like, quite a lot, actually.
Yeah, it's one of the most aggravating, recurring moments of human stupidity is the neglectful parents always trying to find a scapegoat, usually with media,
my mom used to do it
excuse
with,
their own lack of parenting.
I think I watched Mrs. Doubtfire like 200 times growing up. I show my age, but like it's better for me not to hide my age. And something I tell people on Twitter is I pretty much interact with everyone as if they were underage, and if there was, like, I'm supposed to treat everything with kid gloves. Unless I absolutely 100% am 100% sure I know your age, I will treat you as if you were, like, under the age of 18. And if you are someone to be treated with being put at a 10-foot pole away from me. Like Leslie and
exactly.
Bo Blacks and them, like I know their ages. I work with them clearly on a constant basis, and I speak with them on a constant basis, so I can speak to them differently than I can speak with even you or any of like Jabri, like Jabri, or any of them, even BWC,
Mm-hmm.
even though I know his age, like I don't know him well enough for me to like let that guard down. And it's for my own protection and for the protection of other people, because of the fact that I am in my 30s. It can look sometimes weird for people to see me interacting in joking manners with people on Twitter that they would never expect. And surprisingly, I have more respect than Killer Keemstar.
I don't think there's another guy on the internet I despise more. Well, maybe Graham. I think it's a toss-up between Graham Lynham and Keemstar. Graham Lynham is a British comedy writer who has now become more notorious on Twitter for his transphobic
I don't really get
views.
Transphobia. I mean, to be perfectly honest,
He's a turf. He's a sack of shit, and I hate him. Which is, it really hurts because he created some of my absolute favorite British comedy shows. So, well, the IT Crowd and Black Books and Father Ted, they're all shows I really love, and it turns out that the guy who created them is an absolute sack of shit.
Like, so thank God he
it's a bit heartbreaking.
I'm safe. Like my he didn't creep Blackadder. I'm safe.
Yeah. Thank God he didn't. Yeah.
Good.
Thankfully, he had nothing to do with that.
Right there. No, that's why I grew up with it.
But it doesn't prevent me. Yeah. It doesn't prevent me from still watching IT Crowd and Black Books. It's just,
I get
it's
that.
just such a shame.
Keemstar I don't like, but clearly there's public knowledge on why I don't like him.
I think it's it's a reasonable point of view to not like Keemstar. He's a slimy
totally
opportunist, and he's just
my real big problem with him is the fact that, like, when I imagine that you saw all the videos that came out about the situation that happened a few weeks ago, and with the group chat and all the drama. We're not going to get into any of that because that's completely and utterly irrelevant, and I don't really care about having it show on my channel. The one thing that pissed me off is when I asked like a legitimate question to Keem, had nothing to do with the NCO, had nothing to do with what happened there, had everything to do with his logic and his intentions. He told me to shut up and he called me a bitch.
Yeah, he's the kind of person where, like, he's already convinced himself that he's right and everybody else is ill-informed, and no difference of opinion will sway his perspective. He's that kind of stubborn asshole, basically.
Oh yeah, let me come on to this. Like, so to be fair, without all of that, and everyone who's watching this who's a part of that group chat, I do need you to understand, Nick wasn't originally going to share the audio. It wasn't until Keem started saying that he doxed Destiny. Yes. That's all I wanted to say about that, because it's something that hasn't been pointed out. But anyway, so how did you get to editing for Tro? I'm kind of curious.
Well, Tro was my very first client. I had been struggling over the past few years to get a job. I have a background in animation and writing, and I couldn't find work anywhere. I was constantly trapped in this vicious cycle of not having any experience to get a job, and not having the job to get the experience. So, it's a much bigger issue regarding the sort of residue left over from the global financial crisis. So you have many people, both in our age group, from about ages like 18 to 34, almost perpetually unemployable. You have so many people who are highly qualified but have nowhere to go. So, during this time, like, by the time around 2015, I lost one of the only jobs I ever got, which was I was a room attendant at a swanky hotel, and it destroyed me. I developed depression and battled that for the next 3 years. And during those 3 years, one of the only things that was making me happy was watching YouTube poop and editing my own videos. So I started making them, and basically taught myself to edit video just for a bit of fun. And the more I did it, the better I got at it. And also my background in animation actually has a lot of transferable skills to editing, because I noticed that a lot of the sort of disciplines share a lot in common. So I just got rather good at it, and was thinking about, what am I going to do? The real world, this real world with its real jobs, doesn't give a shit about me. It's been 6 years. I can't do it anymore. What am I going to do? And so I decided I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and try to do freelancing, or I will be stuck doing casual labor jobs that don't pay enough to support myself until I wind up inevitably homeless. Jesus. And probably dead in a gutter somewhere. So I thought it was pretty much, this is my last chance. And I thought about what would be the easiest skill to sell across the internet. At first I thought I wanted to use my writing, but it's really hard to get people's attention with that. The only people, those past few years I was able to write for a couple of websites, but unfortunately these websites didn't pay. So I was just trying to get my work out there and for, exposure, but it really wasn't working. So I decided, what if I tried to sell my video editing? What if I started there? Maybe I could work on being a freelance writer later. So I thought, okay, I'm going to need a client and to try and qualify for the NICE program, which is a government-funded program that helps young Australians develop cool. their own business.
I actually didn't know that existed at all.
So with that
I'm sorry, I don't watch your videos.
I made a whole video about this. So
I should do that.
Anyway, it really does explain the story, but since I'm here and you asked, so to get into NICE, I was told that I would need to show some semblance that I'd already gotten started. And so I started thinking, okay, I'm gonna have to try and get a client. Who would be the easiest, maybe, YouTuber to, tap on the shoulder and say, hey, you interested in letting me edit for you? And the first one that came to mind was The Right Opinion. I'd been a fan of his for about a year. I started watching him just as he changed his format and was utilizing more heavily edited visuals. And I noticed he would always credit the editors at the in the description or the pinned comment. And so I thought, well, might as well. So I DM'd him on Twitter, asked him if he was interested. He gave me the first minute of one of his older videos, told me to see basically show him what I could do, and an hour later I gave it back to him, and he loved it and wanted to have me join the team.
Now I hear that you guys are all stuck in a basement, or at least that's what the name of your group chat is. I might know I might know more than I let on from time to time when it comes to where Tro's editors speak. I might be friends with a couple of you.
Yeah. It's a very nice, well furnished basement, and we each have our own computer. Good. And he treats us very nicely, treats us very well, and allows us to work for other people as well, as long as we stay loyal.
That doesn't sound ominous at all.
and we kept sustained on a diet of the leftover pizza crusts from the pineapple pizzas he's managed to convince people that he doesn't eat.
The pineapple pizza thing has gotten him and I in like so many disagreements because I absolutely love pineapple on pizza.
I love it's a funny recurring joke, but the funniest part is seeing the people in the comment section, the absolute gormless twats with no sense of humor, who think that it's like this isn't funny, it's mean. Stop judging people.
I always try to tell him that one,
calm down. It's a joke, you fucking idiot.
Because you shouldn't have a cold, and 2, eat it with ham because you need the salt and the sweet combined. Okay.
He's done it both ways, and
to each their own.
It doesn't work.
You just can't tell me not to eat it that way.
It grosses him out. Pineapple is disgusting.
That's fair.
Sorry.
Like I said, to each their own. I hate stuffing.
Yeah, and
that's the thing. Like stuffing makes me gag. Like I cannot even like swallow it without like feeling like I'm going to vomit. So there you go. Everybody has their thing. It's because I don't like the taste of wet bread.
Stuffing's great.
Like I can't eat like bread pudding either. Like at all. So everybody has their things they just don't like.
Oh yeah, like I am, despite being 28 years old, I am by all accounts still a child. I can't eat vegetables, like barely. Like I can count the amount of vegetables I can eat on one hand, and I can't drink alcohol because I think it's yucky.
I do drink alcohol. On Fridays I do a drunk stream on Twitch, and we play like dating sims, like anime dating sims, because they're so funny.
Like the most alcohol I can drink, like it's the really really weak alco pop stuff. So like a vodka cruiser, something like that. That's okay, but other than that, it doesn't work for me. I just like, oh God no, just give me a Coke, please.
That's fair. I hate like sparkling water, like the flavored sparkling water. Like,
sparkling water is awful. I don't know how anybody can drink that. Yeah. But yeah, so it's thanks to James that I really got my start, and since then I've been able to freelance edit for a bunch of other YouTubers, both large and small, and it's going really well, and I very much owe this change of my life to him, and I will spend the rest of it desperately trying to repay him in work and friendship.
Many friends. I got into YouTube, and I must admit, I became friends with iNabber and Fraser through the easiest way possible. I did pledge their Patreons to begin with, and I started talking to both of them, and even when I stopped pledging, I was still friends with both of them, and I still find them to be lovely people, and they were like, oh, you're no longer pledged to my Patreon, I no longer want to talk to you. Well, I don't know, but Tro will respond normally within like a few days if I message him, and that's perfectly fine. Like my DMs are flooded, and I'm not nearly as cool as Tro. I'm just some wacko on the internet who seems to somehow continue to gain following for posting really stupid tweets. Apparently, people
you're
like
doing
me
something right.
My friends.
Sometimes it's just a matter of tweeting the right thing. Like, for instance, on Twitter for a long time, I had less than 1,000 followers, and I struggled to get anywhere higher than close to 400. And then I made a tweet just poking fun at the YouTube survey, and I wrote this whole thing about because one of its dumb questions on the survey was like, explain why you tick the box that YouTube is not the best place for creators. And like, well, they asked for it, so I wrote out about 500 words about explaining my position. And then I thought, hey, this would be funny to just share on Twitter so that my friends can have a giggle at it. And the fucking thing caught on fire. It got retweeted by a shit ton of YouTubers, and next thing you know, it had been retweeted about 9,000 times, and my followers list exploded. I had 500 new followers because of that. I wrote something that
honest,
really resonated with people.
This, like, a year ago, I had just over a year ago, I had 6 followers on Twitter, and they were all IRL people. I got Blair White to follow me, and I never to follow me, and then I just started tweeting shit. And after a while, I think I've gained 200 followers just this month alone. But I've just been constantly just I think of something funny to tweet, I tweet it. I post out of context pictures, and I'll get 300-400 likes sometimes. If one of my friends retweets, I posted a tier list, and I literally put some people in purposely the wrong spots in order to trigger anger. And it fucking worked.
You were such a troll.
They were you put Leafy as A tier, you put Pyro and Tro as B tier. Oh my god, what the hell? What the hell? And it was so fucking funny to see the comments explode, the likes explode, the retweets explode. I only gained 1 follower, but it was just the fact that it didn't really matter to me. I was just doing it to piss people off, and it fucking worked. Joke's on you, everybody. Nobody knows my actual tier list. I might post it one day, but not right now. Because the thing is that putting people in a tier list just seems kind of stupid, and there was a lot of people on that list who weren't actually...
It's a great way to get people to start arguing amongst themselves and about you.
The fact that there were just a lot of people on that list who were not commentary YouTubers. It was supposed to be a commentary list, and I'm there's a lot of Reddit YouTubers. There's a lot of
I saw a lot of
them commentary. I would like to say commentary adjacent. There are people who dabbled in commentary, like PewDiePie and JonTron and Justin Wang, but aren't strictly commentary.
JonTron's an overrated reaction channel.
Exactly.
He's not really a commentary channel.
But that's where you and I differ. But here's the thing: is this that I love pissing people off, but also having people understand that I'm just joking. I'm not gonna be mean. But also, to be fair, I'm a trickster. You're a trickster. Things my friends say out of context and post them on Twitter. I don't screenshot. I'm literally quoting them as we're in voice calls. We're in voice calls. Somebody says something stupid. I quote them. So I put a quotation mark. I type out exactly the words that they said. Put another quotation mark, and then I at them directly, so they know that I remembered it. This way I'm bullying them, but by taking their own words out of context.
I try to keep my nose clean on Twitter. I mostly just use it to shitpost with my friends and show support for the people I admire on there, the
I see.
artists.
That's why you don't follow me. No,
creators in general that I support.
I'm just gonna roast you. No, it's funny. I got
nice
I got
try.
John Swan to follow me by publicly saying, this is a public message to John Swan or something, and I was like, this is a I can't remember the exact wording, but I was like, follow me back, asshat, thanks. And he was like, are you happy now, asshat? Yep.
I earn my followers.
No,
I don't ask for them.
that's the only time I've ever done it, where I've been like direct with somebody and been like, follow me back, motherfucker. And it was because like he went and liked so many of my tweets at random. I'm like, how is this man not following me already? Like, you go through and you like the stupidest shit that I post, so you're clearly going to my profile. Just follow me back. Because not all the time. You know, sometimes there are ones that had
not necessarily, because you got to remember. You got to remember though that if you have mutual people, if you're following mutual people, you'll show up in other people's Twitter feed. No. It also Twitter will occasionally go like, "Hey, this person follows this person.
Yeah, but that tells
check
you to
them
check
out."
out their profile. It doesn't tell you like, it doesn't. I think
it'll show your tweet. It'll show their tweet.
Too long that I haven't seen them, and I think I follow too many people. Because I follow like 500-600 people, and like I do that for a reason. Yeah. Like I'm a part of like 3 or 4 different communities, and so I have to keep track.
Yeah, because aside from Twitter showing what people have liked or retweet, it'll even show like shit. You're following someone who's following someone else. That someone else's tweet will show up in your timeline showing you that, hey, that guy you follow is following this person and this person tweeted that. Check that out. Ho ho ho. I'm like, I don't fucking care, Twitter.
No,
I know, it's bad enough that it shows when people like and retweet. Like, I can turn people's retweets off, but I can't turn off people's likes. I fucking hate that.
Actually make statements above them.
Because there are sometimes of people like I follow, they'll like something and I'll be like, I don't care.
People's,
stop liking these things.
Things that I like. I found out that there are people who actually like have notifications on for me, and they're nuts. I love you guys, but you're nuts. Because I tweet entirely too much and entirely too many stupid shit for you to actually have those notifications on. Because people will actually, like, somebody sent me a screenshot with their notifications on for me. I'm like, you should turn that off. You will hate me in a week. I will make your phone explode. Because I've tweeted, like, almost 1,000, actually probably at this point over 1,000 tweets this month. So you gotta think about how many times that's hit the notification for those people. Notifications suck unless you only have notifications on for people who tweet very rarely. Like, I have it on for enforcer, like PAX enforcers, because I volunteer as an enforcer for PAX West. So I need to see what's going on. So I know when I need to show up at the convention and what's going on at the other conventions and stuff like that. I have my boyfriend's Twitter on and both of my 2 best friends, and that's it. And sometimes I regret having my 2 best friends' notifications on because sometimes they make my phone explode. And that's Crimson Studios and Captain Bunny. They're my 2 most favorite people to get harassed in the world.
Speaking of Crimson, I should be
awesome.
editing for him a bit more often soon.
He's been getting really stressed, and like having him actually have editors is going to do him wonders about like actually being able to produce better quality. I mean, he already produces quality content even when he was doing it himself, but better quality and more quantity of content with having editors involved, because he won't have to have that full stress on himself.
Yeah, like his editing was a bit janky and very bog standard, but since he's been working very closely with Simon and Cortacera, it's looking a lot better. And I know he wants to bring more people into the fray. He had me edit a segment for only one video so far, but he definitely wants me to work on some more for him, and I'm more than happy, but though he will have to pay me a bit more. I need I do need to talk to him about that, because that kind of editing takes a long time. And unless we're going to do it a lot more frequently, I'm going to need him to bump up that price a bit, a little
I
bit
have
more bread.
somebody who is editing a Twitch VOD for me, and I know that that's going to cost me a pretty penny because they're going through 3 hours worth of video footage and they're cutting it down to the funniest bits. But they're a friend, but it should be fun. It's like me and a bunch of my friends playing a dating sim, a tank dating sim, and like my friends are doing the voices of the other characters, and I'm doing the voice of the male character who's trying to get laid. So I was drinking during the time, and I thought it would be a funny idea, and then I watched back the VOD. I'm like, okay, that was fucking hilarious. I was like, but not all of it's funny, and I just reached out to a friend. I'm like, hey, I don't care what I have to pay you as long as it's like reasonable. And reasonable is not like whatever I dictate is reasonable, it's whatever they dictate is reasonable. Kind of thing. Like, I'll talk to, like, he's like, I'll quote you a price after the fact. And that's only because of the person who it is. And that person is always at the end of all of my outros because at the end of all of my videos because they made my outro. Fire Sale's a great little meme editor. Sometimes edits Twitch VODs, and he's pretty cool. He's nervous. He wants to try out for Tro, but he gets really nervous about it. So now I'm publicly calling you out, Christopher. Message Tro. Stop being a bitch.
Yeah, he should definitely.
Yeah.
He should definitely give it a go. Like, just slip into his DMs and say, "Hello, James. My name is Chris. I want to try out edit for you." He'll give you like the first give you some audio from one of his older videos. Edit the first minute.
Yeah.
Show him what you can do. You know. And if you've done your homework, you've watched a lot of his videos and understand the kind of visual language he enjoys, you'll get in. Like, we've been getting newbies into the new editors onto the team a lot lately. Like some most recent people who joined Tactical, Foop, Abby, and I think there was another one, but can't quite think of the name right now. And Foop only just recently got to do a segment, so
it's very very interesting to see all the different segments, all the different editing styles, and it's interesting to see because I mean, you guys, even though you're editing for Tro, and Tro has a very particular like way he likes videos to be, you all have your different unique takes on editing, so it is very interesting to see those different uniques.
Yeah, he's not that restrictive, like, and depending on your point of view, whether that's a good or a bad thing. His only gripes are with make sure if you're throwing words on the screen, there's no typos, and also try to keep the background moving as much as possible. He doesn't like static backgrounds very much.
Like, I know that is going to be the case with my videos because my videos are more podcast style, but they're more for people to like turn on and listen to while doing something else. Less
I think it really depends on what the editor's going for, though. But regardless, like, you work around that, and other than that, you have complete creative freedom. The biggest challenge with our job, because what we're doing is anything but conventional in terms of editing, because we have to utilize our imagination and creativity to create visuals out of thin air outside of the reference points to whatever it is he's commentating on. So what I try to do is create a solid visual motif for every segment I do. That way I have a foundation to work off of, so I don't get stuck at any point, and I can keep things consistent.
Especially when you're having to deal with so many when you're having to deal with sometimes broad topics or sometimes very detailed, daunting topics. It's kind of because that's another gripe I had, and I've told him that some of the topics that he's done recently kind of make him sound very depressed when he's recording his audio.
I would
Not
agree.
all of them, but there have been a few. The grade A under A ones were fucking quality videos. I like the
yeah, they were good. I think so far one of the only sort of unnecessary videos, like I don't think the Pokimane one was like I didn't think the topic was really all that well in depth. Just in the sense, not that he didn't explore it well, it's just that I felt there wasn't that much meat to the overall topic. But other than that, I think he's always, what I love about his work is that unlike most commentary channels who don't really have anything to say other than a surface level, haha, this is stupid, is that he actually goes in depth into a subject, really roots around in there, and finds the greater message behind it over what he's talking about. Like an example would be, some people probably criticized him why he did a video on Amber Lynn Reid, the overweight YouTuber who's constantly saying I'm going to lose weight, and then does more mukbang videos, never loses weight, and has a history of lying and all this stuff, and she's essentially a quote unquote lol cow.
She's a danger to other people who are attempting to lose weight. She's a danger to other people on the internet who are looking at that and thinking that is beautiful, and and the thing is, attempt to lose weight. As someone who is overweight, I can understand that from that perspective. Sorry.
Yeah. The thing is, like, so you have that kind of surface level criticism of some people saying that James, why would you make a video about this particular subject? Don't you usually do something that has a bit more depth to it? But the thing is, they clearly didn't pay attention, because there's a lot more depth to the video and a greater message that James was trying to convey, and people are so quick and easy to just write it off like, oh, you're just making fun of a fat woman. It's like, did you even watch the fucking video, you clueless cunt? Because if you actually watch the damn video, you would know that's not the case. You actually listen to his words and what he's saying, and that's what makes him so much better than majority of the commentary channels. Is because he has something to say beyond the surface of, look at this drama, that sure was dumb, huh, guys? Okay, see you next week.
The people who I truly respected when it came to the way they did commentary and the way they did videos, and that.
He creates actual social commentary, social criticism. Like, there's depth to his work. It's just not just like, here's the thing we're gonna cringe at this week.
It's fun sometimes to have those people who do the cringe videos, but in contrast, okay, so I watch a lot of things. Like, I watch a lot of different YouTubers. I think I follow.
I'm subscribed to over 400
600
channels. So
and I throw videos on my watch later list. And I don't go to the video and throw it on because I don't want to fuck with their metrics incorrectly. Like, the reason why I do it is because it depends on my mood, it depends on the day, and it depends on like the length of the video and how much time I have. Like, after this, I'll probably sit down and catch up on like 5 or 6 videos. Well, I organize magic cards because I'm a fucking nerd. And before I pass out, go to sleep, wake up after 4 or 5 hours, and start my day all over again because I'm an insomniac who can never seem to sleep more than a few hours at a time. But so I still need to watch this. I watched the first one of his grade videos, but I still need to watch the second grade video. I think. Maybe I watched both of them. I can't remember. I'll have to look. No, I don't remember if I've seen both of them.
Yeah, I've seen both of them.
I know I've definitely seen the first one. God, I remember, like, I started watching commentary back, like, late 2015. Back when Leafy and Grade were just starting out. And it was very, very interesting because it reminded me of a style that existed back when I started on YouTube. Like, commentary isn't new. It's just it finally had a title.
No, it's been around for a long time. Like, it's what most people view as commentary now. Like, that style has been only around for a couple years. But if you go back further, people have been making commentary videos since like 2007.
Videos back in 2006. Most of them are private or stuff like that.
There you go then.
It was a smaller community back then, so when you made a video on another content creator, not only did that content creator know, but their fans knew, and their fans went after you like piranhas. So whereas now people are like, oh, the comment section's AIDS.
Like,
I was literally told
like there's this
that I should be hit with a baseball bat. I was literally told that I would look better if I did meth. I got told that like I have still some of the hate messages, and they're still fucking hilarious to me, because like looking at people's hate comments a lot now, they're just like KYS and stuff like that, and they're very tame in comparison to the way it used to be. Like, people used to like actually be like, I'm going to find where you live and I'm going to torture your family. That was something that was commented on one of my videos on another creator.
It's actually quite funny and interesting how there are so many different levels of commentary channels on YouTube. Like, you got the ones everybody knows, and then you got these other ones, these smaller channels, and usually these ones are usually it's what I've noticed with this smaller circle is that they're pretty much they all commentate on each other. They perpetuate their own circle of drama, and they're all connected by things like DeviantArt.
I mean,
and it's like
the small
it's really silly.
There's two styles. Like, you're talking about one of them, but there's definitely a community who like took me in, and they sometimes used to do the Dr. Phil videos, and they sometimes used to do the really, really easy topics, but
it's not even them. It's about these other people, these even smaller, much smaller people, and as I said, they perpetuate their own drama. They'll make videos that are a commentary on a commentary of someone else's commentary. So you'll have 3 clips played in a row of different people talking about a different person, and you get confused, like, which video, what am I watching again? It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen.
Perpetuating the drama that they'll get more views. It's not true, but that's what they think, and that's why they're constantly like in desperate need to make more videos, to make more content, to roast more people.
I feel like desperation. I feel like desperation plays a major part in commentary, because everybody's so desperate to constantly jump on the next trending topic, and I keep thinking, like, in a sense, like, yes, you're playing the YouTube game, you got to keep pumping it out, otherwise things start to atrophy. But at the same time, I feel like they need to find that way of making their work last more. Oh, totally. Otherwise it becomes dated rather quickly. Like James, while he's able to find greater messages behind his work, I still feel like, unfortunately, his videos do end up dating themselves a bit. So, like, in like 5 years from now, if somebody went to his channel and looked at his older videos, they really wouldn't resonate with them as well as they could have a few years back. So, but it really sucks how with YouTube you have to stay relevant and trending, and you can't just create something that can be timeless.
I definitely agree. That is a drama, especially that is a harsh reality, especially with the commentary community, because commentary is so much about what's currently trending. That's why you see so many current videos on the James Charles situation. That's why you're going to see a bunch of videos coming about the Etika situation that just recently happened. These are topics that are going to be talked about because they're large and they affect the multitude of creators on YouTube seeing this kind of stuff going down, and because the audience are like thirsty for it.
Yeah.
And if the audience is thirsty for it, then some, not all of the commentators, but some are going to record videos on it because they want those views, they want those likes, they want those subs, because the point of making videos now for a lot of creators is just to grow. Like, do you know that I think I maybe only look at my Social Blade once a week, and that's on the day that I upload a video. Just out of curiosity to see how it goes. But other than that, like, other people have to tell me I'm growing on YouTube.
Yeah, I can't imagine the stress of being a career YouTuber because you're constantly thinking about those nebulous little numbers next to your videos. When I was uploading my YouTube poops, like I would be stoked if it got like 50 views, but the analytics was never a motivating factor. It was only for fun. I think because YouTube poop is one of those last few genres on YouTube that you can only make for fun. You can't hope to monetize it at all because of YouTube's flimsy bullshit way of dealing with copyright and not understanding fair use at all. It just chooses to ignore it. So all you can do is make that, like, YouTube poop is like the last, pretty much one of the few last people on YouTube that legitimately only make videos for fun.
Like, I don't do YouTube poop.
Yeah, I know. I respect people who they just make their videos because it's fun and they enjoy making them. Like, it's why I like Colossal as much as I do. Like, he really can't be bothered with the whole YouTube thing. It's just, I'll make a video when I want to on something that interests me for my own entertainment, and if it entertains you as well, then that's great.
Videos just for that very reason, that he tries to make the video entertaining, but not because he's desperate for the attention, because he knows he can get the attention. He does it because he's like, well, I want to talk about this. You guys can deal with it. If you guys want to watch it, then watch it.
Yeah, I like how his videos, because of their rarity, but because of their quality, anytime one is released, it's like an event. Like, the whole internet stops. It's like, we have to watch Colossal's new video.
He saw one of my tweets about, like, my top favorite commentary creators at the time, and he said, oh, I'm not number one on the list, so this isn't, like, an accurate list. And I was like, you don't create YouTube videos, you create events. Because literally when his most recent video came out, my friends and I got into a call and watched it together. And I think I watched it maybe 2 other times after that because I was just trying to take it in, like, what was going on in the video. And that's the thing, is just that his videos are more... I feel initially, like, so much happier when I'm sitting down and watching them with other people to do, like, the initial, like, me reacting with my friends, and then I watch them by myself to like, fully get the concept afterwards, because it's more like, oh shit, Colossal uploaded, you know, let's all get our opinions on this. Like, we don't record our opinions. I think the only time I've ever, like, recorded, like, watching someone's YouTube content, and Crimson knows this, like, me and a bunch of my friends sat down and watched his old videos. His really old videos.
Yeah, my only criticism towards Colossal is, despite the fact that he says he only does it for fun and does it for his own motivation and that he can take his time, is that despite that, he still cares slightly about the whole trending topic thing. I remember he had been working on a Keemstar documentary for months, and then iDubbbz's Content Cop came out on it, and he said that essentially killed his documentary because it addressed a lot of the similar points. And to my response to that would be, who the fuck cares? You put so much work onto it, you wanted to do it, you should have just finished it anyway. And it's this, and I remember telling him that kind of thing on a Twitch stream, like probably the only Twitch stream of his I ever caught, and suggesting that he continue to just make videos that he's passionate about, and he said that he feels the need to do trending topics. It's like, which one is it, dude? Do you want to do it for fun, or do you want to be trending?
And do it for fun. I mean,
yeah, but the problem is, like, because of the amount of work and effort he puts into for it to be as entertaining as he wants it to be, he ends up, the topic is no longer trending. So I feel like he needs to find more stuff that he's absolutely passionate about, which clearly was the case with the FouseyTube thing, because before he made his videos, who even cared about FouseyTube like at all? Nobody gave a shit. But he saw someone who was being an absolute scumbag,
yeah, exactly,
and ran with that. Because FouseyTube existed, FouseyTube wasn't trending, but he was doing well enough that he was a problem, and he felt the need to address it. And so I hope he continues that kind of thing with other topics, regardless of whether they're trending or not.
Well, like, for me, clearly I
because it's again a case where I want people's work to be more timeless. I don't want it to become dated and nobody cares about it in less than 3 years. That sucks, because you're putting all this work to make a really great video and then nobody can really watch anymore because they have no idea what's even going on.
A chance to be timeless, as they're just two people talking and the conversation never changes. Like, you can have a conversation with anyone and have it be nice and chill or combative if necessary, or anything. Like, I've talked about politics, I've talked about parenting, I've talked about clearly commentary, but like, even a few years from now, people are gonna watch this and see us giving our views on this type of stuff, and they're gonna be like, oh, this is really interesting. They're not gonna be like, oh, heard it, done it, like so many other people have talked about this kind of thing. And it's funny because I do sometimes hop on like trending topic train. Like, when I posted the Just Destiny video, like, I skipped a bunch of videos that had already been pre-recorded and then dropped it early because of information I had, and I can admit to that, but I tend to just record with whoever I want when I want and upload on the same day most of the time every week. And like, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
As long as you meet the very easy requirements, which I've pretty much have 200 plus subs, and there's no cap. There's no like cap to that, and don't be a dick. Like, don't be somebody who, like, I am going to want to just who like, the idea of just getting you onto my channel makes me want to punch you in my face. Like, I could never have FouseyTube or Keemstar on my channel. And sure, that means, oh gosh darn, I'm gonna lose out on subs, but fine. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, because I imagine those conversations would be horrendously painful. Like, Keemstar would be an absolute drag, and Fousey is so deluded, you'd be probably having a really hard time trying not to laugh as he's talking. Not to.
I would be laughing.
Speaking of laughing, I have to say that the whole thing with Just Destiny so far has got to be the funniest dramatic thing to happen so far this year. I just keep replaying it in my head. It's like this, like, a 20-year-old man couldn't handle a hypothetical kind of criticism of him, so he threatened to fucking sue him.
Entire group chat.
It's absurd. Like, it's pretty so much absurd.
From the sky.
Did you see John Swan? You've seen John Swan's video about it, right?
But I didn't see it initially.
I had a lot of fun pretending to be Just Destiny. That was fun. Because I did the voice for the
That's really cool.
tweet readings. I'm really disappointed that there's not going to be some kind of sequel. Because I want to reprise my role.
Here's the funny thing. Something...
Witness the power of Just Destiny as I threaten to sue a child. I'll bury him in legal fees, the little shit. Don't you know who I am? I react to Dr. Phil videos on YouTube. Choke on my millions of subs.
I actually reached out to Just Destiny back in October, asking him. I think it was like October or September, and I reached out to him asking for him to be on my channel, and he gave me the thumbs up. He was just like, hey, just let me move, And then I went through some of my own personal issues, plus my computer died for a little while, so I spent like almost an entire month not uploading. Because I just couldn't physically upload. I didn't have a computer to edit or record or anything. And then December happened, and I was trying to get my life resorted after some drama. And then January and February happened, and I tried to stay as far away from that as possible until my ass got put right into the middle of it. By him reactivating his Twitter and DMing me to come onto my channel. Because literally the day before I uploaded the video, I recorded it. So I knew the name Michael Sherman on the 8th. Whereas they went after all that shit on the 11th. And my video went up on the 9th. And so, like,
right.
A couple of those people were my friends who were in that group chat who were a part of that whole situation. I'm like, you guys are fucking idiots. If you guys had asked me, I could have given you some basic information that would have at least steered you away from the topic that you guys were looking at. And I don't know if you heard any of the RFC things, but my biggest thing was it wasn't the whole group chat. Don't blame everyone.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm fully aware of everything that happened now,
Yeah,
and all I can say is that was stupid. The whole thing is just
y'all shouldn't have added.
Whole thing just really stupid. Yeah, I think that was probably the greatest lapse in judgment.
Yeah.
On James's part, and he fully admits that, and that's all you can do. So the lesson is, don't bother with Keemstar under any circumstances. Like if you possess two brain cells to rub together, you know that there's nothing good can come out of associating with that man. I'm scared that one day
he will hop into my DMs, probably just to call me a bitch again, and then block me. And
then you can say,
yeah, I mean,
you can say he's a bitch right back because he is.
He doesn't agree with
he's allowed to poke. Like, the amount of times he has temporarily blocked Colossal on Twitter because he made a joke at his expense is.
I don't agree with anyone who blocks people just because they don't agree with them. The people who I have blocked on my Twitter account are dudes who have either stalked me IRL, a dude who sent me a dick pic, and a dude who asked me to rub my face for 1 minute and tell him how it felt. That's my block list. You want me to block you? Be fucking creepy. That's how you get blocked.
I don't think I have many people on my block list. I think it's quite small.
I attempt to keep mine small only because I don't really like the idea of blocking people because that's like censoring them, and unless I'm being like verbally harassed or something. And I mean, there's a person who comes onto my Twitch streams just about every time I stream just to call me fat and ugly, and I thank them for their view. They're like, you're fat and ugly. I'm like, you know what? I knew that, but thank you for coming to watch my channel anyways. I really appreciate you taking the time and caring so much about me to come and tell me that almost on a daily basis. That really fucks with them. Because imagine wanting to make someone angry and then having them not be angry. Because I don't fucking care if somebody thinks I'm fat and ugly. I don't care if somebody thinks I'm pretty. Like, I just don't care. That the internet and its opinion of my looks are irrelevant. And people seem to think they're like, oh, you look old. I am old.
You look like a woman in your 30s. I am. How observant of you.
I look like I have 50 cats and live alone. Even though I have a 10-year-old. Oh, yeah.
Well,
no,
he looks like a fucking gnome.
Which is sad because I think garden gnomes are cute. He's the ugliest garden gnome I've ever seen. I would not put him in my garden. I don't have garden gnomes in my garden, but I might. I might someday.
Like he had, he's
his
hideous as a person.
gross.
So
And
just everything about him, who he is, what he stands for, everything about him is just disgusting. In my opinion.
To be honest, I can't understand why some people get along with him. But hey, maybe I'm not supposed to understand. Maybe there's something past the persona that, you know, is different and cool on that. I can't judge somebody by who I don't see.
Yeah, I don't buy into the guilt by association type thing unless they, actually involved in something like that. But like I'm not suddenly gonna stop supporting Colossal just because he happens to get along with Keemstar.
Some people say,
that.
well, Keem's different behind closed doors. I'm like, I'm not going to judge him.
It's like, well, I don't care. He can stop being a cunt in public. He does
behind closed doors, because I don't see that, and I can only judge people by what I see. Actions speak louder than words, and his actions are fucking terrible.
Exactly.
And that's my only opinion on the gnome. We've gone over an hour. Holy crap. Already. We're just about like an hour.
Already?
I want to say like an hour and 4 minutes or something. Let me take a look. I can actually look at the timer.
Mm-hmm.
It is... Oh, no, an hour and 6 minutes. Damn. So I'm going to say... Thank you, Biodegradable. I'm going to have a link to your Twitter and your YouTube channel in the description down below. Please go ahead and check him out if you want. If you want to hire him for editing, his DMs are open. You can always harass him. Make sure pay your editors. Don't try to get them to edit for exposure because that's bullshit.
Yeah, I work I do this full time. I'm 28 years old. I need the money. I'm not a teenager who can do it as a hobby. So don't come to me unless you.
I honestly don't think that you should
unless you have money.
The person who's going to draw the photo for this, I pay. And most of the time, some of the people are between like 15 to like 21, and they might not always need the money. But it's not about needing the money or not. It's if you're getting a service, you pay for it. If you want somebody to edit your videos, you pay them.
Yeah.
If you want somebody to make you art for something, you pay them. If you ask for something directly to a person and they do that for you, you pay them. If they come to you and they say, you know what, let me do this for you, please. Then there's a gray area. That's a gray area.
Yeah, if somebody wants to do it just as a favor or as a gift, that's fine. But otherwise, give them some money.
That being said, if there's anyone else who you would like to see on my channel, please leave a comment in the description down below. Please leave a comment in the comment section down below, or you can always go to my Twitter, and you can always DM me or at me on Twitter publicly and tell me somebody who you'd like to see, or go to my Instagram and also let me know. You can also find a link to my Discord in the description down below. I'm always there. And as Biodegradable can attest to, I hop into VC from time to time and bug the crap out of people. Plus, I stream from there for my Twitch. Yeah.
And we could always do this again.
I'd love to have you back.
I'd be happy to come back.
I'm down to have you back on my channel at any time. We'll set up another time probably in the next couple of months or so. Sweet. And I hope you all have a good day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yay, that was a lot of fun.